Hello, welcome to the Crafty Maven Getaway podcast. I'm your host, Anna.
And I'm Megan. Thanks so much for joining us on today's episode. We are on season 2, episode 14.
Woo! Oh my gosh. It's like 14 doesn't seem like a lot until you think about the fact that we've been doing it all year.
Uh-huh. I know. I'm very impressed with us.
Right? Well, and then
Yeah,
when you piggyback off of all the other episodes that we've done,
right.
we're like, we're doing pretty good there. We're doing
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah, we are.
Especially when we were just like, hey, maybe we could do this. We could try it. It could be funsies. And then now I'm like your creepy best friend who's always like, hey, when are we doing the podcast? We got to do the podcast.
We're gonna do a podcast.
Well, I also think it's fun. It's just a fun way to like provide something for the community
Right.
and have those conversations. It's,
Definitely.
I mean, we might as well maximize on the funness and be
Yeah.
different places. So,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I don't know about you, but I love listening to the Scrap Gals and Paper Clipping Roundtable. And then when the Scrap Gals kind of switched over to like subscription based, I was like, well, I'm not going to pay $5 or 10. I don't know how much they charge. I'm not paying that.
Yeah.
I get
Me
it's a
neither.
lot of work and I understand why they charge for it. Like, no, like I understand and I'm not, but I was a little mad.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
me too. Because I loved the Scrap Gals. They were super fun and
they
like
were.
very relatable. Like,
Yeah. I think
because
it was
like,
a lot like how we are in a lot
yeah,
of ways,
exactly. Because the paper clipping roundtable, like they were like professional, like it was like too good for us people that are just normal people, like loved it, loved it.
I mean, you're
But
not wrong though. It did seem like they were super professional, like
yeah.
they always
Well,
had like really big on.
I think that's what her husband did for a living, wasn't it?
I
He
think
did
so.
like
Or yeah,
videography or
he's like
something.
into more media
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. No, Noelle does she does like yoga stuff now.
Oh,
Like
does
she
she?
did her, yeah, her and what was her husband's name? They're divorced now. She's with
Oh,
somebody
they
else.
are? Oh
Mm-hmm.
my
Yep.
gosh.
Yep. She has,
That's
I
so
don't know if they
crazy.
own a studio or they just run like a studio type thing. So that's what she does.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I think
I
it
think
helped a
his
lot of
name
her.
was Izzy.
Is he? Yeah, that sounds right.
It sounds familiar. But yeah,
So
anyway.
I know she's had a lot of health problems, and I think doing the yoga and slowing
Oh,
down and not putting all that pressure on herself,
right.
which I can get. They did that for a long time. Oh, well, it seemed like a long time. Like I was coming into the back end of it, but
Right.
so I get it. And I mean, the Scrap Gals, they're still doing their podcasts. They're still
Yeah,
plugging.
that's awesome.
So I think it's a lot like us where, they have times where they're scrapbooking a lot and times where they're not. And so I feel like that's pretty relatable. But so
Oh yeah.
it's just nice to have lots of different groups. And so now with us and well, and even Cassie was on what Keep Simple Scrapping. She does a podcast, right? Or something like that.
Oh, does
Well,
she? I'm so bad knowing all the
I don't
scrapbooking.
really listen to her podcast. I should because it seemed like when she has people on, it's like I listened to the one with Cassie, and that was really cool because she just highlights different designers or people in the community, and like
Yeah.
it's Q&A, but you kind of get to learn about them and talk, like listen about how other people scrapbook, and that's always fun to see like how different everybody's process is and
Yeah.
stuff. So, but
Yeah.
she also does other things. Like she doesn't just do guest designers. Like I think she does the podcast on her own. So I have to check it out because, you know. But
Yeah.
anyway, I feel like and maybe this is and this is not what we're talking about today, but I think maybe this is the part of scrapbooking is sometimes we want to be kind of almost humble and not like put ourselves out there because it's like, oh,
Right.
well, I don't want to feel like I'm better than everybody else. But then the downfall is no one gets to like it takes a lot longer to generate the audience that you would want, or for people to learn about, like, oh yeah, they have a podcast, they're talking about scrapbooking things. And I
Yeah.
mean, I guess in a way, like, how many people are listening to podcasts? We're kind of well, now we're not younger, but we were at the younger end when some of these podcasts were really popular. And
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it was a big thing for like the scrap gals to do a podcast, and even paperclip it, like they were on the front end of what people were doing, because there was other
Yeah.
podcasts, but even then, like, podcasts really weren't as popular. Like now podcasts are like all over the place. You could call anything, like we call this a podcast, and it is, but I mean, it's just me who's sitting here talking. Like,
Chatting,
don't
yeah.
feel all the time like it's a podcast, because it's not like we have all this fancy equipment. I mean, you're in your car on your lunch break, so
Yeah,
come on now.
super
But
fancy.
we're so bougie.
Yep. Oh, yes.
Anyway. Anyway,
Thanks for
today
joining us with our
if you want to feel
non-bougie.
down to earth, that you can do whatever you like, but I think there's a part of that, right? Like sometimes we try to make things super complicated, and it's really
Yeah,
not. It's just grab a mic
right.
and just get
Yep.
going,
I agree. I
right?
agree.
But today we're gonna start our another mini series because why not?
Yeah.
And we're gonna talk about mixed media. So we're coming into the summer. I know we have National Scrapbooking Day weekend is coming up with a hot crop and a whole bunch of stuff. And mixed media is just like really, I feel like blowing up like big time. Like way more. I know the cherry on top ladies, they're doing a ton of mixed media type stuff, like art journaling, and sharing a ton of that stuff. And I feel like when you see the big hitters like the stores and bigger places like really promoting stuff, it really catches, like, even though it's been trickling in over the years, you had certain people who did it. Like you had Wilna, who's doing the art journaling thing, and you had Dina and Diane, doing their thing. But it was like not quite overlapping. Wilna was a little bit overlapping, but not really.
Yeah.
And so more and more and more, it's really overlapping into the scrapbooky. Like you almost have to do mixed media now if you don't do
Yeah.
some kind of mixed media. And I know, so that's scary. So today we're going to talk about the challenges, because there are tons of challenges, and I think there's a lot of reasons why people are hesitant to do it. And so let's just kind of talk about some things that we see. And then as we keep going on in the series, we're going to have some people on with us, and we're just going to chit chat about some things. And I don't know how long this series will be. Who knows? But it'll be fun because, and
Yeah.
this also is piggybacking off of the fact that we're starting our challenge, our weekly challenge, which I've kind of narrowed down some stuff, at least for May. So I got to start, or well, I guess May, because May's next week or in a couple of days. So I have some stuff ready. I'm just working on the email list so that we can start getting that out to people. And so it is going to be fun. I'm excited to start playing
Awesome.
around, and we can share our stuff, or we don't have to share our stuff, but I think it'll be kind of fun to share a little bit of what we're doing, so that it'll
Right.
encourage other people to just play and not worry about it. So what do
Yeah.
you think for you is the biggest challenge to do mixed media?
I think because there's so many like techniques and different types of products these days, I think I just get overwhelmed really easily. Because when I first started doing mixed media back, like 10, 12 years ago, it was like sprays and inks and maybe some like pastes and stuff. But now there's like so many different products
Yeah.
that it's like overwhelming. And I
Yeah.
love all these products, and I love like, and that's what I think I love about the Kit Club that you're doing, is that like it introduces us to the new products, but like in a smaller way, and it seems more usable.
Mm-hmm.
So things that I probably wouldn't pick up on my own, like I can get them in the kit, and you know, I can use them. And then
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, I want to promote the kit, you know, then I'm like, I'm gonna use this, you know.
Yeah.
So I think the biggest challenge is just how many products are out there.
Yeah, that
Very
definitely.
overwhelming.
And there are a ton of things. And there's so many things that you could use as a mixed media product that maybe aren't even classified as mixed media.
Right.
Where, yeah, you're right. Like at the beginning, it just seemed like, oh, you just use paints, or
Yeah.
now you can use some inks because they're sprays, you know, and
Yeah.
and now you can stamp and do this. It was like pretty basic, or oh, here's some stencils, and then companies
Mhm.
started doing a lot more pastes, you know. So it's like for the longest time, I would add stuff to just regular texture paste. For the longest time, I was
Yes.
doing that. I was just adding stuff to it. Like, oh, let's see how this paint does with it. Let's see how this spray does with it. Let's see if I add this item to it. Let's see if I make like embossing powder on top of it. What it's gonna happen then, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like that's what I was doing, like playing with all that stuff. Because there's always been paint. There's always been, you know, rudimentary stuff, but yeah, we're like really getting in. And I think that's the art journal aspect coming into the scrapbook, because that stuff I imagine has always, people have always been adding tons, like whatever they could to an art journal, but for it to translate onto a layout or a scrapbooking page is way different than.
Yeah.
I think
Definitely.
for me, the biggest thing is when do I stop? When do I
That's
stop?
like the opposite of me.
Yes. It's like, when do I stop? When do I stop adding stuff? Because I could go on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Um, so I think that's my biggest thing. Or sometimes I get just in love with a certain type of product and that's all I want to use.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, huh, I'm just doing this thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think, especially as mixed media artist, I have certain products that I really do enjoy using. And that's like, I know I can manipulate that the way I want it to get a fun look. So when I'm doing something like this past year, I've used a lot more acrylic paints than I've ever have, because acrylic paint, even though I feel like you can use it in so many different ways, just I don't know. It just doesn't look the same as some of the other stuff for me. So I'm like, it's not my fave, but I've been trying to use like a ton of it and like, how can I use it and make it better and get better at it? And so there's that aspect of things. So one of the things that I came up with a few things also, because it's not just me and you.
Right.
And even like when to stop is like, it's a personal preference.
Oh
And I
yeah.
think that, and we see that when we look at designers on or like when I'm looking on Instagram, there's some people who just add a little bit of splatters and that's all they need. You know, a little bit of like watercolory, you know, like with the inks or whatever. Um, and they're like, okay, I'm good. I added some mixed media, you know, and then you have some people who add everything, like me, or Jessica does that too. Actually, both
Yeah.
Jessicas do that. Both Jessica Michaels do that. But there's a lot of ladies that they add a ton of stuff. I love it. Also, Shannon always makes it fun when I watch her add everything.
Yeah.
Like, how can I put all of this on the page?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Well, and again, like, I mean, that's why I like the kit so much because it
Mhm.
just includes a whole lot. But then, like, you can just kind of choose one thing if you want. But if you like to stack
Mm,
everything on, like, you have that option. You know,
yeah.
you can add all of the mixed media if you want to, and that's
Hmm.
really nice. But like I think for me, I'm one of like the minimalist, like mixed media because I don't know why it just overwhelms me so much. And I wonder if the more I play with it, if I will start adding more and more to it, you know? But I feel like even back when I first started using mixed media, I've always been more minimal. like just using
Yeah.
stencils or,
Yeah.
whatever.
Well, and that's not a problem because you got to think about how you scrapbook, right? You
Yeah,
use a lot of busy patterns or
I
something on
do.
your some kind of pattern on your thing is really
Yes.
bold and you want to highlight that. So how do you do that with mixed media without it just becoming looking like a muddy mess? Because
Right.
that is the crux of even with me is like, when do you stop? Because at some point it just might it goes from looking like a hot mess to looking really awesome and then it looks like a hot mess again, right?
Right.
So you kind of have to find that balance. And if you want to use busy patterns and stuff, you do want to keep it simple because you want everything to shine on your page. Like, so and I think that's where you're coming from. I'm a scrapbooker who wants to add mixed media to I'm a mixed media who wants to add scrapbooking stuff.
That's
And there
true.
is a difference. So you have to figure
Yeah.
out like what that balance looks like for your style and for you. And I think there's a lot of people like that. I know Miranda's like that too. She only wants to add a few
Yes.
things. And I love it because that's how a lot of people do a lot of people are scrapbookers who want to add some mixed media.
Yeah.
And I can sit here all day and say, "Oh, it's just super easy, blah 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 blah." But if you're coming at it from a different way of thinking, it is you have to figure out what that looks like for you. And especially, I feel like we see it a little bit more now as more and more people are playing with mixed media, but this is where this is sometimes the crux of YouTube when a lot of us are still learning, which is
Mhm.
fun to watch people learn, but then also they don't have their style down yet with the mixed media,
Right.
like mixing it, right? So you're seeing them play and learn. And so you have to figure out like what elements are you going to keep from what somebody else is doing. So that's why it's good to have a broad or an array of people that you watch, people who
Mhm.
that's what they do, people who are sure in their style and and how to mix things, and then people who are learning so you can kind of grow and use all those pieces together. But it's once again overwhelming because sometimes you and sometimes someone does it and you're like, "Oh, it looks really awesome," and then you do it and it doesn't seem like it works out the same way because that's
Yeah.
just how much media is sometimes. Sometimes you, as much as you plan and try to control it, there is no controlling it 100%.
Well,
So,
and then it gets a little bit frustrating because you're like, I had this idea and it didn't work out, the way I wanted it to.
yeah.
So it's like you kind of have to prepare yourself for it not looking exactly how you want it, which I'm like a control freak about, my layouts and everything. And so it's really, really hard for me to be like, I have this idea and I need to get this done. And I don't have a ton of time either. And I think that also adds
Yeah,
to it.
I-
Like, if I
yeah.
were to just play and not record and just play a lot more, I think that would also be helpful. And just
Mhm.
kind of like throughout the week, maybe like do a couple of mixed media things. And then on the weekend, when I have more time, then I could scrapbook and actually do the layout like I want to. Because I do have a couple of mixed media journals. And so I'm like, maybe I need to pull those out and have them like just on my desk. Because of course they're like stuffed away, and
Of course. Of
so
course. Why would it be right
it,
out in the open where you could just grab
right?
it, Megan? Why would it be?
I
Come
know.
on now. That's not what us good knitting. Like, I mean, granted, I say that and mine are just like right here, but I also have ones over here and other places. And actually, Kaden was looking at some and I'm like, I think I lost some. I don't know. But like I
Yeah,
have quite a few.
you do have a lot more than me.
Well, and I have like one that I've really not even used. Like I got this last year. I was so excited because it absolutely is gorgeous on the inside and I'm an ancestry
Ooh.
person, so this is all ledger. Like so they found this Dina Wakely's, I don't know if she found it or someone she knew found it. Anyway, so they copied the pages and made like, so they're all like
Wow.
it's a real ledger from somebody's like store.
That is so cool.
So, but it is like, this is, I love that. And though she said she has the original and she's going to use, like, do mixed media on it. And then my heart went, like, even though in our, in a lot of our kits, I add, like receipts or whatever, right? And because I bought a whole pack when you were at a crop or something.
Yeah.
And like, because that kind of stuff also is super cool. And I had to remind myself it's okay.
It's okay to use this.
It's okay. But there was a couple of checks that were from like really old, like from 18 something, and I could not bring myself. I took them out because I was like, these I have to save. It's like, I don't know. Someone's gonna find it. It's probably still gonna end up in the trash, but you know, if I get smart enough, I'll give it away before I die. To someone
a
who
long ways
could preserve it in the appropriate way, because it's super cool. Because there's checks in here, like old checks. Like, who would have thought? You know, like I said, like some of them were from 18 something, and I was like, holy cool. Like most of these are from 1925. That's still like a long time ago. That's over 100 years ago.
Yeah, that is. That's crazy.
But it's crazy, right? So anyway, but who, like, a lot of us have our stuff all over the place, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, so I think that the part of that challenge is, like you said, having it where you can grab it, having like some kind of shelving or a storage system near your desk that you can just grab something. And I've tried to do that in my room. It's not so great now. Right. I really need to reorganize to fit this room and not the room that I had before. But I have like baskets where I put my traveler's notebooks, so I could just reach in and grab them and stuff. And so that's like a big, and even mixed media products. So you know, it's like, I think about like this past year, I put up these shelves with all my sprays, and I absolutely love it. And so now I want more, because I got some re-inkers recently, and I'm like, oh, now I need like a brand new spot. And I'm like, man, it's been forever since I bought shimmers. I should buy some more. Well, and this isn't even all my shimmer stuff, because I have a ton of the pot, the little tiny, like, you know, they're the watercolors essentially that they make, and the pots and stuff. And so the creamies, and there's a couple other ones, and I have those on a thing right over here that like spins around. But honestly, I hate that. So I think I need something like this that I can easily see them, and I love that I can have them displayed. So I got to figure out a better way. So, because I just, and then I spin that thing, and it's like, because it's old. I don't even know what it was meant to hold, but I don't know. But having your stuff like close by, so you can easily get to, like, I also have a container, I can't reach, I'm like so bad, one of these that has just mixed media stuff in it too. And I feel like that's always hard, because I'm going in there and digging and have to look around some of my paint and look around through my gessos and stuff, instead of just having it like on a stand or something. And I know a lot of people use the little stands, and I have one, but I use it mostly for my business stuff.
Oh, yeah, I use one of my what are they, the 3-tiered carts?
Yeah, the rolling ones.
I use those. Yeah, the rolling ones. It has a lot of my mixed media supplies on there too. But like all of the new stuff that I'm getting from like you and, you know, the shop and everything, like I need to find a place where I can just easily reach for it, because I don't know, like, if I would do that with that cart, like if I would just grab it and then bring it over, you know, because right now I just have it sitting on my desk. So it's like, oh, I want to use this, and then I can use it, you know?
Well, and like not everybody has the luxury of being able to have a big storage area to put their stuff too. Like when I was in Hawaii and I didn't have my own space, really. Yeah, I had it in the living room. I had to keep my stuff in drawers and stuff like that. I had to keep it away also because I didn't want the kids to be all over it, because little
Yeah.
kids and mixed media is super, they love it. They absolutely love it. And I'm pretty sure there was a couple of times they've gotten into, they were pretty good about not getting into it. But every once in a while, they're like, well, I see mommy playing with it. And next thing you know, you got a
Yeah.
bottle of shimmers or some, or, some other kind of spray all over.
Yep. Yeah, Laura and Maximus will sometimes get on my desk. And so that's also why I'm like, okay, maybe I need to have a place that's not on my desk.
Yeah. Well, they just can't help themselves. They see you do it and it's
Exactly.
fun
Right?
and it's pretty, and why not?
Yep.
And messy. Why
Yep.
not
And
use it?
messy is fun.
Right. Right. Well, and I think it's like all these are like little things that sometimes I feel like these challenges, we always kind of make a big mountain out of like a molehill. It's almost like
Right.
an excuse to not start. It's like that procrastination because we're afraid of like not doing well. Like I have a really hard time if I'm not good at something. It's like, because there's so many things I am good at, it's like, I don't know if it was just how I grew up, my parents always being like, you could do whatever you want. And, like, oh, go Hannah, and so now it's like I'm older and there's just certain things I'm not good at. And so like, if I'm not good at it, I'm like, I don't want to try. Right. And
Right.
so, but really, like mixed media, like many other things in life, the more you do it, the better you get.
Yes.
Right. And like I said, there are just going to be certain types of mediums that you're just not going to enjoy, or you're just not going to be that great at. I'm going to bring in the smushing packaging technique once again. I'm just not that good at it. I also just don't like how it looks when I do it. It looks fine when other people do it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just me not not liking it. And then on top of that, I just don't do it enough. So I've not perfected it enough to where I would like it. And so that is one of my goals this year, is to do that.
Oh yeah.
More of that. And I've been kind of playing around with it a little bit and
Oh, that's
stuff.
fun.
So who knows? I probably still won't like it that much, but who knows?
You never
Um,
know. Yeah.
so I think one problem that I see a lot of people talk about, and we'll just kind of quick go through so we're not taking too long today because you're on your lunch break.
Yeah.
And is that white page syndrome. Like, where do I start?
Yes.
Because there's nothing on here.
Mhm.
That seems to be a really big stopper for a lot of people. I love
Yeah.
that. I love a white page because that means I could do whatever I want. I love it.
Yeah.
But I know it scares a lot of people because it's like, oh my gosh. And then but I think it kind of goes back to that. What if I do something and I don't like it, and then I've messed up this page? And it's like, okay, I have tons of pages that I don't care about. And
Yeah.
so one of my goals this year is to kind of use up some of the old ones and figure out a way to make it work. And I was watching someone do something on Instagram. I think it was Erin Reed, and she was taking like some stuff that she had stenciled and doing like a really cool mixed media, like multiple pages, like putting it on the end so like they all work together and stuff. And I was like, oh, that would be really cool to do also with like mixed media pages that you've used, and you can mix and match, the whatever you've done on them. So I think another issue that I see, or that I sometimes have, is what media do I pair with what, like actual scrapbooky products? Like, so, because certain things just don't look that great with other things every single time. And I think this probably is a lot of your problem too, right? It's like I have this
Yeah.
big old pattern that I really want to showcase, but I really want to use a stencil too. And
Yeah.
so what kind of stencil do you use so that it still highlights what is already there? And so and I think you see that a lot more with when you're not doing like white with just a white background. And a lot of people don't like that white background. They want a pattern. And so you have to figure out like how to pair those products together. Um and I think that that's probably the hardest part. Honestly, like I say, oh, my hardest thing is when do I stop? But really it's what products are going to look good with what, because I've seen some people's layouts and you're like, I don't know if that works with that much. But if they like it, that's fine, and I think that's
Yeah.
part of it is we all like different things. We all have different things that catch our eye, but certain things look better than other things. And so it's just, and sometimes you only have what you have, right?
Mhm.
So, like you might only have a limited supply of different texture pastes. So like you kind of are trying to make use with what you have and your style. So it's that pairing of the products sometimes can be interesting.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
and then I think another one that I thought of was uh what a, I spent all this time doing this amazing mixed media stuff and now I'm covering it up.
Mhm.
Or how much do I cover it up?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
I think that is another thing that kind of trips me up because when I do mixed media, I want you to see it. And
Mhm.
I think that is probably one of the second bigger things for me is like if I'm going to put all this time and energy and work into this beautiful
Yeah.
masterpiece, like I'm going to be able to see it.
Yeah.
So
So
I agree with
I
that.
think that's like merging your style with wanting to be able to see everything after you put in the hard work. And that is a big thing. Like how much do you show? Like some people do really well with just having peaks of stuff popping out. And some people do really well with just having the media be the show. I feel like Vicky does a really good job at that. Like
Yeah.
the media is the show and she does a great job with that. And then she's also designed products that help you do that where like some other people, I think, and I don't know if it's because scrapbooking is their thing and so they just want a little bit of extra stuff kind of showing. Um
Mhm.
so it, yeah, it just is always, that's always a like, how much do I show? And I've thought about that. Like I did stuff just the other day on our wedding series.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was like, okay, I know I'm going to cover a lot of this up, but I do want some of it to show. But I don't want to skimp out on it, like because the problem with that is if I don't add enough, you for sure are isn't you're not going to see it at all.
Yeah.
So and I think that's where the white page or not at the beginning, if you're just doing the media, once you start laying your stuff down, that's when you start noticing, oh, I actually need more here. I actually need like it to be bigger. So you do end up spending a lot more time on media and doing a lot more, but most of it probably isn't going to show unless that's what you want. So but you got to
Yeah.
practice that. So anyway, is there anything else that you can think of?
Mm. I mean, I guess like if you have that like white page, fear of the white page syndrome, like um I think that's where it's easy to just do small things and
Mhm.
just kind of accent like you were just talking about. Like that's a good place to kind of start out and just add your photos and everything. And then, oh, I have this little bit of space here. I can do something, really easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think sometimes we forget, and I actually this would be like a really fun series. To focus more on like embellishment type of mixed media. So you're doing things that are going to be more embellishments as opposed to like the background, right? That's and I feel like
Yeah,
we don't do that as much.
that's a good
Um
idea. Yeah.
So, but that would be a great way. Also, if you're someone who likes a lot of like other busy stuff and you want more scrapbooky stuff on your page, like papers and stuff, then you can do some mixed media that are the similar colors and then like make some kind of like circles or I don't know, like different shapes type of
Yeah.
thing and
Yeah, and
use
just
it.
kind of layer them and stack them and
Yeah.
all that. Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm sure there's people who do that more, but I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, but that's but yeah, so anyway, those were some of the things that I was thinking about as far as like some challenges. And I know as we go through the series, I want to like dig more into that. But I also want to talk to people who like have their style that they love or have the things that they love. And so we can kind of glean from them and learn some things and just enjoy the fact that someone is sharing their art and stuff. So I think that'll be really fun. I think it's really inspiring when you talk to somebody who really absolutely loves what they're doing. So it just kind of comes across, you know, in everything. And so you're like, yes, I wanna be like them. I want to do what they're doing. So I think that this series for sure we need to have people back on. And it's been a while since we've had people on like as guests and stuff. So I'm excited. I have a few people that I'm thinking about reaching out to. Um, and then from there. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe more people will now that we're starting to get a little bit more traction and viewage or something. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, definitely.
Talking with some different people. It would be awesome if we could get like Vicky or somebody like that on. I don't know
That
if
would
that's
be
even
really
possible,
cool.
but I don't even know if she, I don't know if she even has like the time, but
Hmm.
or maybe at least someone on her team for sure.
Yeah,
I
that
think
would
I
be cool.
think we kind of know a few people adjacent at least.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but anyway, I don't I can't think of a whole lot more. I don't want to like drag this one out since it's just like the
Okay.
intro because I
Yeah.
know we'll talk so much more throughout the other episodes and stuff. But
Okay.
so as we finish, do you have a tip or anything to say about mixed media and like your
I
approach?
mean, I think I kind of already said it. Like, just kind of start small. Like, I've been kind of thinking about maybe starting to do like 3x4 card size and just
Hmm.
doing like little bits of mixed
Yeah.
media, like stenciling or, whatever. And like just kind of using things from my stash and getting rid of it. Because there's a lot of stuff that's old that I have, like from shimmers, but they don't last very well. Like I've got a lot of the little pots too that you were talking about, and I'm like, I probably need to use those up.
Some of them
So,
last a lot longer. I found like so if they've dried out, they last better than if because then you just add water. And some of them are
right.
more dry. But the
Yes.
ones that were more liquidy, I found that and I think for me, some of it is just where I live. It's a way more
Yeah.
moisture because I've had a couple I've had to throw out because they
Mhm.
got moldy. But I've also had that happen with one of the watercolors that I made. I had like the base and it was sitting out and I had to toss that because that started getting moldy. So I think
Oh,
it's just if there's a lot of moisture. And
okay.
I know that like this my sprays seem to be okay. I can't smell
Good.
those. I don't know if they have like a musky smell or anything,
Yeah.
but you know what does help? So this is just for anybody. If you add just a teeny tiny drop of clove oil in like a spray or something, it shouldn't do any as far as like make the spray weird, but it will help. Clove oil helps. It's a micro whatever. So it helps kill the germs. So that's what they use a
Okay.
lot of times in homemade and watercolor bases and stuff, or at least more natural ones, as opposed to like synthetic, where they can add other synthetic materials to help keep the germs away. So that's something to think about. And actually, now me saying
Okay.
that, I probably want to do that with all of my sprays because they're all old.
Yeah.
But Stacy told me, because I asked her like how long in theory they last, and she's like, they should last forever. I don't think that's the thing, but I mean, because I've talked to I know we've talked to a couple other people who are
Oh
like,
yeah.
this started smelling a little funky. So think
Yeah.
about, because it might just be that it hasn't been used and shaken up enough. And so, you can always just add like a little tiny drop. I bought some that's pretty cheap on Amazon, but I bought a big vial because I was making watercolors. But
Okay.
so, and that's what
That's
they
good
said.
to know.
So it helps kill the germs, and so that'll help protect. I obviously isn't going to work so much for like a watercolor that's dry, but that's where if you let things dry a little bit more, then you can add water as long as it can be
Mm,
reactivated with water. Obviously, acrylic paint, that's not going to help, but acrylic
yeah.
paint will dry out. And I've had some like Dina Wakley's the paint, like I have one that's old and I don't even know when I got it, and that is starting to get a little bit harder. And I've had oh, what's her name? She's Australian and she does mixed media. Jane Davenport. I bought some of her paint, and that stuff started. It's just how acrylic paint is. Like eventually it kind of
Yeah.
loosens up. And you can use liquid um fluid liquid medium. I forget exactly what it's called. Hold on. I can find it real quick. I think I can. Maybe not. I thought I had it like right over here because I use it like all the stinking time. Anyway, I don't know where it is, but it's like liquid acrylic thinner. So you can use it actually to thin out acrylic paint and like spray it if you wanted to, but it also just thins it out a little bit. And I mean, you can use water, but the artist in me also wants to keep the integrity of the paint. So if you use a
Right.
lot of, it's generally it's not going to be a big deal, but if you really want, like if it's really thickened up, using something like that is going to help it just in the long run, as opposed to if you just want to thin it out, like, and it's
Okay.
already fluid, or like,
Right.
it's not as dried out. So sometimes you just lose it. Like I've had to throw out a ton of pastes
Mhm.
because they just
Yeah, me
don't.
too. Yeah.
So yeah. So those are just
Okay.
like little hacks that kind of are helpful.
Yeah.
So my tip would be, or is, with mixed media, it almost always looks really bad. It almost looks really shitty until it looks better. So you got to keep
Until
going.
it doesn't.
Got to
Yeah.
keep the course.
Keep going.
Also, you can always add gesso or paint and restart. Like nothing is final
Ruined. Yeah.
and ruined. So even if you have to put your page off to the side and come back to it and use it as scraps. So um not all is lost. So I think sometimes we want to catastrophize it and be like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. And sometimes you just come back years later and you're like, you know what? This isn't so bad. I could just make circles and do something with it. I don't know. Or like I
Yeah.
said, you just put white paint over it, use black gesso. That always could, that's going to cover up a lot of crime,
Yeah.
and just restart over. Just
Yeah.
restart. Do
Start
another.
over.
You
Yep.
learned that does not work. So anyway, I hope you have a great day, Megan, and I hope
Yeah.
everybody else
Thank
has a
you.
great day. Be sure to just follow us in all of our places.
Everywhere. Yeah.
And don't forget that we'll be doing, at this point, when this goes live, we'll already have our challenges started. So if you want to get a weekly prompt, sign up either at our Shopify shop, so shop.thecraftymaven.com or thecraftymaven.com. You can sign up there, and then for emails, and you'll be put on our email list, and once a week we'll send out a weekly prompt, and there's other goodies too. So we'll
Yay.
have like a cut file every month.
I'm
And
super excited about the cut files.
so, and hopefully soon we'll be able to offer, we want to offer to be able to cut it for you. So if that's something, if you don't have electronic die cutter and you would like to get it, I don't know how much I'm going to charge. Probably not too much, like $1.50 maybe, just to cut it for you. Obviously you have to pay for shipping, but a sheet isn't that hard. So
Yeah.
we'll cut it for you if that's something that you're interested in. And so lots of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, we'll
Yay.
see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.